Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. Before I tell you the story, I'm going to tell you I have tried to record this story about 7 times this morning, and every time I stop because I'm laughing too hard. So this time, I'm going to get it right. I was with a group of people, and we were discussing this place that is really nice and amazing, and it's historical, and it's all of that. And so we're talking about the history and the nature and la la la. So this one woman in the group says, "You didn't go there." I said, "Okay." And so then I'm talking about how my family went and we stayed and boating, biking, we're doing all this stuff. And she goes, "You didn't go there. It costs blah, blah, blah per night." Okay. So anyway, so the other people were all engaged, and everybody's like looking at her like, does she not hear herself? And and I'm just like, "Buh, buh, 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 buh." And they're like, what? Yeah, girl. And that's where I fell off that bike, and bye. And we're just going on. And she says, "It was such and such per night. You didn't stay there. It cost such and such a night per room." And I just finally said, "Oh, yeah, we didn't stay in a room. We stayed in the cottage." And she said, "They don't have cottages." Well, one of us has been there. And it just kept talking to the people who wanted to engage in the conversation. For years, people who look like me have to learn to defend a truth that we know. And during this dual pandemic of coronavirus and the awareness of systemic racism, where people had to actually see George Floyd die to believe it with their own eyes, there's an awareness, an awakening happening. And there are some who refuse the facts. And those of us who see and know are spending so much time. Sometimes it's out of love. Sometimes it's out of wanting to show people what you couldn't see. Now you can see it. And sometimes it's out of, we need to be right about this because it's true. I think those of us who see need to keep looking over here and having a conversation. I'm not leaving anybody behind. I'm just saying sometimes it takes folks a little bit longer to grab a hold of the truth that they refuse to see. She was telling me what I did or did not do based on what she could or could not afford. How do you take that? What do you do with it? Do you entertain it and you try to explain it? Do you Google a search and show where the thing is and explain da 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 da? Do you say you got it on a deal or use what do you do to make somebody make them feel comfortable in their false narrative? You don't. Because the false narrative doesn't feel right. We know something's wrong about it and we're trying to get it right. And then when you share it, when you show it, and people refuse it, 90% of that group was wanting to hear the story. Stop playing to the one who refuses. Because then she got into her feelings. How she was being ignored and it wasn't right and blah, blah, blah. Someone said to me recently, "Well, you'll tell us when you go somewhere." Why would I do that? It's my business. I don't have to share all of my business with you. In fact, let me let you know this. I work for companies and hedge funds and banks and corporations who don't want anybody to know what we're doing behind those closed doors. So I sign non-disclosure agreements on a daily basis. You have no idea. And because you've seen me for 7 minutes in the morning, doesn't mean you have access to my whole day. And some of that day is spent learning and growing and becoming, so I can share whatever it is I know with those who want to learn. I'm not offended that someone accuses me of indoctrinating, and then when I call them on it, their feelings are hurt. I've done this too long to stop now. Moreover, I see so many people now, more than ever before, who are not only willing to engage in the love, in the joy, in the conversation. Because guess what? When I go on trips, I take people with me. You don't have to go. But those of us who are going, we're growing, we're becoming, we're getting closer, we're learning so much more. And Saturday is Juneteenth. Don't let someone else's story about what they believe, what they want to cling to, keep you from going on into the truth. Because once we get past that tough part, there's a beautiful story that we're writing. I love you.